Hello friends, and welcome back to Rachel's Baking Corner. Today we will be making pistachio muffins. Never really heard of such a thing before, but I found it on Pinterest and I'm like obsessed with pistachio ice cream, so I can't imagine this is going to be bad. We've got essential flavors like vanilla and almond, and then pistachio, and an interesting ingredient I didn't even know existed, pistachio pudding, instant pudding mix. So I'm really ready to do this because this recipe is supposed to be like a bakery style muffin. So big, poofy, fluffy, and light and airy. So without further ado, let's get on with it. We're gonna talk ingredients, tools, order of operations, and then we'll get to baking. So for the ingredients, you're gonna need a half of a cup of butter melted, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 2 large eggs, room temperature, a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of almond extract, 1 box of instant pistachio Jell-O pudding, which I was worried I wasn't even gonna find at my grocery store, but I did, so who knew? 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half of a teaspoon of salt, that's our active ingredients, 1/2 cup of milk, room temperature, and 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. The recipe has a buttery topping, which is with a half of a cup of granulated sugar, half a cup of butter, and then 1/4 of a cup of pistachios chopped up that you like dip onto the muffins, but I'm not so sure I want to do that. I think I'm going to just top them with pistachios before I put them in the oven and call that good. Sorry. Now, just to preface, this recipe comes from badbatchbaking.com. Ooh, I like that one. badbatchbaking.com. Okay, tools. You're going to obviously need a muffin tin or a cupcake tin and liners. I didn't find any muffin specific liners, so I'm assuming like a regular cupcake liner works. Let's see. I mean, not really. Well, that's unfortunate. This is non-stick, so I've already made muffins in this and they come out perfect. As long as you grease them, they shrink away from the sides and they come out easily. So maybe we won't use liners. If you know about liners specifically for muffin pans, please leave a comment down below and educate me because I'm not familiar. But you're gonna need a muffin pan. You can use your mixer, hand mixer, your own elbow grease. I'm gonna use my KitchenAid and my paddle attachment, spatula, and whisk, the usual. All right, so let's get going. We're going to mix, plop, bake, and then enjoy. I love that. My favorite kind of recipe. So as far as I can tell, this is a very similar recipe to, say, like a cookie recipe, a standard cream style technique. So we're going to get our melted butter and our sugar. So we're gonna drop the lid on this and whiz it for about 2 minutes at like a medium-high speed to get some air incorporated into that butter and sugar. Let's do it. While that's whirring away, let's get our dry ingredients together. That's our flour with our baking powder and salt. And whisk that to suspend those ingredients into the flour. And here we are at 2 minutes. We've incorporated a good amount of air. It's light and fluffy. I think we'll call that good. Okay, so we're gonna lift this up. We are gonna crack in 2 eggs. 1. And I'm gonna do 1 at a time so they incorporate evenly. Good, and then 2. Next, we're gonna add our extracts. I'm gonna turn that off. So we have a really luscious concoction going on here. Now we're gonna add some instant pudding mix. I've never even, I mean, I guess people put pudding in their cake. I didn't think it was like instant powder. I thought it was like actual pudding, but it smells good. But it's instant pudding, of course it smells good. All right, we're going to mix until combined. I imagine this is going to turn it very green. Let's watch. Here's our butter, sugar, and eggs. Let's see what happens when the pistachio hits. Ah, yes. Nice shade of Shrek green. Kind of looks like there's flecks of pistachio in it already. Okay, so I did that until just combined. So we added the pistachio pudding and mixed it until just combined. We're gonna add our milk now. So I'm gonna have it on low. Good. All right. Very green. We're gonna add some of our dry ingredients, probably about a third. Mix that. Do a little on and off action so it doesn't explode with flour everywhere. It still does anyway. Just until the flour starts to disappear, and then we're gonna add another third. Ooh, this is looking luscious. Mmm. Okay. Last third. All right, and mix until just barely combined. As soon as the last little bits of flour are gone, we're gonna call that good. Good. All right, let's taste it. Mmm. Saltier than I expected it to be, but delightfully so, not like, you know. I can never get these attachments off. Okay. Take this off the kitchen stand and mix it up. Good. Okay. So now we're just going to prep our muffin tins and we'll be in business, baby. Let's preheat our oven, 425. So the way I grease my pans, not like it's rocket science, I just kind of like, I get each cup, grab a paper towel, and I just wipe it around to distribute the oil and then gather up any excess oil so that it's not too greasy. I like to use my spring-loaded ice cream scoop to divvy out my muffins. That way, it's just super easy. I don't know, I don't sense this is gonna make me very many muffins. This doesn't seem like a lot. It's a really nice, thick batter. It's luscious. The color is very pistachio. No one's gonna question when you tell them it's pistachio. They're gonna be like, yeah, I can tell. So lastly, we're going to chop up some pistachios to put on top. So instead of cutting up my pistachios, I'm gonna just crush them, get a rough crush on them. Just pour some pistachios in here. These are roasted and salted. You could certainly do unsalted if you wanted to. The recipe, I don't know if it's specified. It just says pistachios, it doesn't specify. So do it to your taste. Okay, so I'm gonna just roll to kind of crush these. Maybe I'll just hammer it. Great. That's perfect. So I just want to sprinkle them on top. Then they'll roast a little more in the oven and they'll sink into the batter. Obviously these cupcakes are going to puff up and expand, and so I'm hoping The pistachio will kind of go into the nooks and crannies. Great. Now I'll just save the rest of these for like some oats or something. Here are our muffins. The preheat alarm just went off, so into the oven they go. So we have our oven preheated 425. So these are going to bake for 7 minutes at 425. Then we are going to reduce the heat to 350 degrees. Don't open the oven or anything like that. And then let them cook for another 8 to 10 minutes until fluffy and cooked all the way through. So that means a toothpick comes out clean when you stab it. All right, let's do it. And here we are. We have a beautiful plate of muffins. I'm learning that when I want to use my muffin pan to make bigger size muffins, I need to double the recipe because I only got 8 muffins out of that whole recipe, and I'm kind of like, I feel like I could have gotten more from that. So I'm going to start doubling them up. If you use a muffin pan, I would recommend doubling it up. Unless you are okay with 8 muffins, then that's fine. So let's get a quick close-up and then we'll taste it. Yay! Muffin, 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 muffin. Pistachio is really just kind of cooked into it. It's a nice, pretty green color. Let's cut it open, shall we? We shall. Okay, I haven't seen it yet, so ready? Oh, focus on the muffin. It's beautiful. It smells vanilla and warm and almondy and nutty and salty. Let's taste it. I'm gonna go back around real quick. Now I feel like the best way to taste a muffin is with a little bit of butter. That's just how I've always eaten them. So I've got some spreadable butter here. There you go. And just smear some butter on there. They're still warm. Not hot, but just warm. Okay. All right, let's give it a taste. I already love almond flavored things. Almond is really a nostalgic place for me, but this has a really good texture. It's thick and doughy, and it's more dense, like a muffin, like you would hope for a muffin. But the toasted pistachios on the outside had some great crunch, added some good saltiness, a really great flavor. With the sweet and the vanilla and that creamy texture. Oh yeah. And they're so visually appealing. They're very pretty. The green is really nice. I love it. That's a hit. That's great. And it was really easy. I would just double my recipe next time. I can't believe that has a whole box of Jell-O pudding mix in it. Well, highly recommend. That was really easy. Came together pretty quickly. You just need your mixer. It's just as easy as any other muffin or cookie recipe I've used. And it's really pretty. It's just charming. And obviously you could do the butter honey glaze thing that it was talking about, but I'm just not interested. I just want that unapologetically normal pistachio flavor with a little bit of almond and vanilla. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. If you do, please leave a like, comment down below any recipes you'd like to see me make. Subscribe, and I'll see you next week in another video. Thank you. I love you. Mwah. Goodbye.